Okay, if you watch my last YouTube video, this one's a little bit better. So, uh, it actually involves me, the story of me going and getting my license changed. I got my birth certificate in the mail where my gender marker was changed. So I got to go to the Department of Public Safety and get my license changed so my gender marker matches my birth certificate, which is awesome. And I think that was like one of the best experiences I've had throughout my whole transition next to my top surgery. Because my top surgery was an awesome experience, and it was an awesome, like, event in general. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. But this one, I think, came second. So I took my birth certificate, and my license, which was actually all I needed, surprisingly, and I took it to the DPS, and I went in, and I was sort of nervous. I was like, because I had heard, like, there was one guy I was watching something, and it was some documentary or something, and he ended up going in with, like, the letter, his surgeon's letter, his birth certificate, and something else, and they ended up having to call, back to like the head honcho of, like, the DPS and say, I've never had to change a gender marker before, how do I do that? I made this huge stink about it. Not a negative stink, just they didn't know how to do it, so, they had to call. And I didn't want that. So what I did, essentially, was I played it off very similar to how I played off my name change in my court case, which was, just, I went in like it was a mistake. That somehow or another they had mistakenly put the wrong gender marker on my driver's license. Like, it didn't, like, the gender marker didn't correspond to my birth certificate. This is how I played it off, that they put the wrong one. And it was their mistake. So I go in, and I go up to the guy, and he's like, and I told him, he's like, well, what can I help you with? In that wonderful, like, DMV, DPS voice, which was essentially, what the fuck do you want, in short. And I said, well, my marker's wrong on my license. And he's like, well, how long ago did we do your license? And I said, well, and I was getting ready for the whole, well, why didn't you come in sooner thing, in that. And I said, last May sometime, but I hadn't really looked at it until I got stopped the other day, and it was or I got into an accident the other day, which I did get into an accident. Not my fault. The guy rear-ended me. The guy goes, and I said, well, it didn't get pointed out to me until I got in this accident. And the officer pointed it out to me, and he goes, oh. And then he proceeded to go, well, can I have proof of your gender? And I gave him my birth certificate, and I was afraid that I was going to have to bring, like, a court order or, a surgeon's letter or something like that. And I gave him my birth certificate, and then he actually apologized to me and said, I'm sorry, we actually have to ask for that. And I'm like, no, that's cool, I get that. And as I'm dancing internally going, oh my God, someone apologized for this. So then not only did he apologize, but I got, he's like, it's our mistake. You're not going to have to wait very long, because, going to DMV or DPS or anything that has to do with a license or an ID or anything like that, it normally takes, be ready to wait a good hour at least. I didn't even have enough time to fill out, like, that little sheet that they give you, and I made sure, actually, to not shave for a couple days, so there would be, like, some scruff on my face or something. So he's like, you won't have to wait long, and I didn't have to, like, they gave me a little sheet, and it was 4 questions. That's how, like, short of a time I actually had to wait. So I start filling out this thing, and then they call my number. I'm like, oh, wow, that was quick. So I go up, and I bring my birth certificate and my license, and the lady's like, just gives me that, well, what, that DPS look, what do you want? But, was, well, what can I help you with? And I said, well, my gender marker is wrong on my license. And she's like, oh. And she's like, oh. So, I give her my license, and I give her my birth certificate, and I'm like, yeah, that's incorrect, And she's like, oh, yeah, let's get that changed for you right away. And, yeah. So it got changed. And not only did I get, like, everybody apologized to me. Everybody apologized to me. It was, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, how long, the lady asked me the same question, you know, how long had it been, and I'm like, you know, it's been, like, wrong for about a year, but I didn't notice it until I got into an accident. And she's like, oh, okay, you know, yeah, thanks for, you know, and then, you know, it was pointed out to me that I didn't have to pay for a new license because it was their mistake. So, so I kind of shafted the state of Texas out of, like, $10, but I really don't feel bad because the experience was kind of cool. So, yeah, apologize to, as I'm, you know, and again, before I left, you know, again, we are so sorry about this mistake. I'm like, that's cool, no problem. Dance internally. So yeah, that was pretty sweet. Now, in addition to having that wonderful experience, what I ended up thinking about a lot, actually, as I was driving away from that, was I was wondering if when trans women get their licenses changed, you know, if they have a similar experience to that. You know, because of the masculinization of this world, you know, it's like men are like, yay, and women are like, boo. And I don't care what anybody says, they're still treated, women are not treated the same as men. I've noticed that a lot when it, you know, throughout my transition, that the scales are not equal, no matter who says they are, they're not. So yeah, so I was wondering if, and actually this was kind of a question, if any trans women are actually watching this one, please leave a comment, because I'm actually quite curious if the experience is the same or different or anything in between. So, I think that's it. It was just a really cool story, and I wanted to share it because it wasn't as traumatic as I thought it was going to be. I was actually putting it off for about 2 weeks because I didn't want to go in and have all that drama. So anyway, I hope everyone is doing good and well. I'm probably going to be posting quite a few more videos soon. So just stay tuned and stay updated and whatnot. So hope everyone's doing good, and I'll talk to y'all soon.